we are cutting up the tiny dough what I shot 2 days ago, and this is the backstrap of it, and we're cutting the silver skin off, and we are cutting if there's any fat on it, off. And then getting back to cutting the silver skin and fat off. This is a lot of silver skin or fat. I don't know which one it is. But this is my first time doing it. It's not my first time using a knife. I have actually used a knife a lot. I skinned a lot of this, and last year I trapped and I skinned a lot of it. And we're cutting off the blood, like the blood lines or dark spots in the meat with a lot of blood in it. And make sure when you're done with the deer, make sure there's no hair on it. And I just found a little bit of hair. Okay, it's gonna look like this. No silver skin, no fat, no nothing. Just plain meat. Okay, and this is fat. This is fat. This is silver skin. And what you can usually do, sometimes it gets hanged up like this. Kind of use a knife and kind of cut it. But usually you can just stick a finger up in it and just pull it back. Sometimes you need a knife or you're just gonna cut the whole thing. Like you stick your finger up the middle and you just nope, this is fat. What's gonna stay on if I don't cut it? Okay, for this one I can just flip it over and cut like this, but I'm gonna cut most of it off at a time. So I'm going to, you push down, you start cutting. Like, it's almost like if you're getting skin and stuff off after a fillet of your filleting fish. And you kind of gotta, you don't have to be as careful. Well, you always gotta be careful when you're doing a knife, when you're holding or handling a knife, however you guys wanna plane it. But it's not as difficult to control the knife. Well, I don't know how to explain it. It's not as hard. Well, it's still pretty hard.
We can cut that into a smaller piece if it'll be easier to work with, but.
No, I can get it. There's just one piece, but. Okay. When you're handling with a smaller piece, it makes it easier. Like, you don't have to get it all in one cut. This one's gonna look, even though it's gonna be cut up and all that, it's still gonna look good when it's done cutting. Like if you're skinning, there's all sorts of cut up stuff. It's hanging. The meat is hanging. When you got these big pieces, they're tricky. Look at all this silver skin and fat. That's a lot. No, that's not all.
And you know how tough that was to cut?
Mm-hmm.
Think about chewing that.
Yeah. If you didn't hear what my dad just said, think about how hard I was trying to cut, and I was still being careful, but think of how hard it would be to actually chew it. Your teeth aren't as sharp as a tongue. I mean, not a tongue, a knife. I got mixed up. I'm talking about your mouth. One thing, when you're cutting back, never do that. Because it's dangerous. I know you saw me do this and the knife was facing like this. I was only doing that and I was flipping it around like this. You can cut off to the side. You can cut down like that. You can cut a lot of different angles, but it can't come back to you. It's really dangerous. I've got cut a couple times. Only I've got cut once. Yet. I only got cut once with a knife yet. Don't know if that made sense. It might. Look at that one, since it was a smaller chunk, it was smoother. But this smoother a word? Smoother. Can't say it. But just I think I didn't tell you guys in these last videos what I did, but they didn't turn out well. I'm 8 years old now, and I'm cutting up deer. My dad's just right there, waiting. He's like, I'm just doing the cooking. You're doing the cutting. Sure, he helped me a couple times. But, Daddy,
Yeah?
you really gotta check for hair because there's a lot of hair on this.
Well, you're the one that skinned it and cut the meat off.
Oh, you did it too. I did most of it, but you did it too. Even though if the meat is cut up like this, it's like diced up, it's still gonna be good if it looks bad. And I shot a tiny doe, so the tinier the deer is, the better it is gonna be to eat. I know this, but okay. You guys, if you guys are wondering why I have this glove on, is because I don't cut my hand. It won't cut. Well, it'll still cut. It might.
It's gonna stop your knife from chopping your fingers off. I would say this was a big piece, so that one's done. So when there's fat on the side like this, you go like this. And you guys out there, you guys are probably way better at cutting than me. I'm only 8.
period. So maybe some of you are 20 and older. It doesn't matter about your age, it matters about your skill and how long you've been doing it. And a lot of you have probably been doing it more than a year. More than 2 years. I've been doing it for 2 years.
Say this is the first one you've done.
This is the first one I've done deer. Well, I skinned the deer last year, but I didn't cut the fat off and silver skin and that stuff. I skinned animals last year, and that's all I did last year. With the tinier the piece, the more faster it goes. Well, maybe not with some of you because, well, my dad can cut it in pretty big pieces. He can cut it when you he can cut the whole backstrap at one time. But I can't. I can only cut it in pieces. And if you guys don't have gloves on, if you even touch your hand with this knife, it won't cut you. Still, don't try to cut yourself. Because even though your hand is covered up, your whole body isn't covered up usually. One thing, guys, if you probably already know this, don't leave hair on your meat because then it's gonna be bad. This one I think is gonna have the most silver fat and no silver skin and fat. Is this fat or silver skin? This is fat. I'm gonna take this glove off. It feels like it's slime, like fish slime, not actually slime.